Well, folks, welcome to the Go for Diamond call this evening. Tammy and I have been starting a series of calls. We call it the Success Cycle. The Success Cycle series.
We had a busy weekend.
Yeah, that started on January 7th. And you can actually access all of the past calls on activeteam.com under the video section, because these are, as you can see, they're visual calls. And if you haven't noticed, you can actually look at your phone and the little tab that shows the screen of the presentation slide, if you tap on it, it should increase to the size of your phone screen. And but you can actually go and listen to these calls if you've missed the call, and any of your associates, and you're very welcome to follow through. And that way you can catch up with the calls. And again, the order of the calls are not necessarily that important, but it's important that you go through them. And this is segment number 3 on the Success Cycle, which attitude is absolutely critical. In fact, this weekend we just finished our kickoff in Toronto, Canada. We had an absolute blast. We had a great time. We started Friday evening with the opportunity presentation with some great testimonies. And on the Saturday, we went to celebrate it with a flag ceremony following the training segments, and all the way down, and we finished the event close to around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, starting at 10 a.m. And we had a wonderful time. And one of the things I talked on a segment of the training, Tammy and I did, which was influencers, and we'll have one of those segments. In fact, it is recorded, and we will make that available on Active Team. But for the sake of this discussion, I talked about attitude. And attitude is probably one of the most important training segments that I believe, and Tammy probably feels the same way, is critical, especially when you start a new team. Tammy and I, over the years, we have recognized people with wonderful talent, have done great work in building a great organization, but there's a lot of, let me rephrase that, there's sometimes segments, missing pieces that could implode and break an organization. Mm-hmm. And we want to touch on some of those aspects that we believe are very important for you. So let's begin. Right now it is January 28th, it is 8:02, and moving forward in the training, we want to start with what is attitude.
Well, as you can see the slide, if you are looking at it, a way of thinking or feeling about someone or something typically reflected in a person's behavior. It is critical how we present ourselves the moment we wake up until we go to bed. What goes on in our head is important that it's in a positive note. Can it be always positive? Absolutely not. There's always things that go on in life, but in general, pay attention to that. And I always train my own self to be in the moment. When you're in the moment, you're in control. If you're, thinking of the future or the past, it's generally a fear-based. So it's important to have that control. And my mother always raised us and taught us growing up is to be patient. And if you're patient, you'll notice that you'll go through life much more easier. And also how you treat people. It's critical. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Write that down. It's very important. Treat people the way you want to be treated. This business will become a lot easier. And I love the picture on this slide because, most people will look in the mirror and they won't see a lion as a little kitten there. They will, they tend to pick the most negative about what they're seeing in the mirror. I highly recommend to make that shift if that's what you're doing. Because when we look in the mirror, and of course we have to work on that, and we worked on it over the years, is how you see yourself. What matters most is how you see yourself. Because if you see yourself in a great light and see yourself as a great leader and impacting the world and attracting incredible people, you're going to see this through yourself. You need to personally grow if you want to attract what you're looking for.
Your attitude is the aroma of your heart. And the reality is that the way you feel will reflect in your presentations. It will reflect when you're sitting in front of your prospect and the decisions that they're going to make and want to get started or not. A lot of it has to do with your attitude. If you feel that things are too expensive, guess what you're going to get? people that are finding things too expensive. You know, and there's so many ways to go over and above. But the thing is, your attitude is the aroma of your heart, and it begins with you. See, attitude is a choice. You know, I very much respect John C. Maxwell. We spent quite a bit of resources to attend one of his events. It was actually a weekend event in West Palm Beach, I believe we went. And most people don't spend this kind of money, but we had the luxury to be able to have the means to do this, and we had the opportunity to sit with this guy with a very small, intimate group to talk about kind of one-on-one almost on the aspect of leadership. And one of the things that he's mentioned is people may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. Mm-hmm. And this is what I wanted to share with you earlier with my comments, is that if your attitude has a certain reflection in the way you feel about the opportunity, the way you feel about the product, the way you feel about the exchange, whatever it is, that is good or bad, regardless of what it is, it will have a reflection. And this is what people will hear, regardless of what you say.
Yeah, I love that slide because, you know, your posture, the way you present yourself, when people are looking at you, it's important that you're always in a positive note, because when it says, when they, you know, they feel your attitude, they can see that. Body language is so powerful. So if you look at the next slide, attitude is a choice. I mean, look at the body language of the three faces there, the characters. You know, when people look at that, they'll either be drawn to you or they'll want to run from you. And I have to admit, you know, we've been in this industry for a long time. There was times where people would run from me based on, you know, words that I chose, you know, the way I behaved. And, you know, there's a lot of growing in our profession. So, again, you know, always take moments throughout the day, because you do need to reset. Things happen, and you need to reset. So pay attention. When you're in the moment, you can make a shift in seconds.
You know, when you wake up in the morning, and this again is in reflection what Tammy says, when you wake up in the morning, you got the choice. Mm-hmm. And I understand that if you're dealing in a situation where, if you don't mind me kind of use some practical common experiences, that maybe you're going through a divorce, maybe you're going through some changes, maybe you just lost your job, maybe you know, maybe the money is just always more months left than money left. I mean, it's frustrating, right? The month is not, you know, you still have like 2, 3, 5 days a week left to, you know, your rent's not paid for, whatever the situation is, and there's just no more money in the bank. And you see, I understand the frustration. So I don't want to be a hypocrite here. I do get it. Sometimes it's hard. But this is when you really need to rethink your attitude in the morning, because I'm telling you, the way you wake up in the morning will carry it with you. You will carry it with you throughout the day. So even if things are not going your way, or things are not happening in the way you choose, you can choose to feel differently. And don't fall into the trap of behaving based on the moment. And that's the message here. Choose, reset your mind, and focus on the things that you feel matters. And I assure you that very often, the problems that you're facing becomes less important in your life. And really interestingly, is you may find that it will start dissipating. So situations will present itself. Solutions will present itself. Opportunity will present itself, because your attitude is different. People love to be around someone who smiles with a great attitude. People tend to walk away or shy away from people that are sad or angry.
So the right attitude towards network marketing profession and believing that you can succeed. You know, I know that when people are new in this industry, it's a growing profession. So you need to understand that it takes time to learn skills. You're not going to make a ton of money at the beginning because you're learning, right? So you want to make sure that you work on yourself throughout the process and build your belief in the profession. Because if you don't have a strong belief in the network marketing profession, you will not attract people who will have a strong belief in the profession. And again, it's all about attitude.
And you know, folks, there's many books that are available today, and you need to educate yourself on the network marketing profession. You know, if you go to school and you have to study math, you'll have to study it, right? If you need to study literature, you got to open books and read and learn from the people who wrote books before you. You want to learn how to paint. You want to learn how to sing. You want to learn how to trade. You want to learn how to, whatever it is that you want to do, is you need to educate yourself. And most of us, we will go through books. And I know today there's many different means of being educated, but the fact here is educate yourself on the profession. You want to be successful in network marketing, well, let's stop treating it like a part-time side business that really has no value.
Or a hobby.
Right? Like a hobby. And most people treat this business like a hobby. I assure you, you want to become a lawyer, you are going to be in books and you're going to dive into it, you're going to eat it, sleep it, right? You're going to focus all of your energy towards the education to become a lawyer or whatever profession you're looking for. Network marketing, folks, it's a business. It's a legitimate business. Many, 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 many millionaires are created out of this industry. So educate yourself in the industry by reading books like Eric Worre, Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. GoPro. Mark Yarnell, The New Professional. And there's just hundreds, thousands, to be honest with you, of books out there. And the fact here is you've got to educate yourself so you can help and build your posture, your belief, and your attitude above all about the network marketing profession. Because if all you do is you talk about our wonderful product, you'll end up with wonderful customers that will be grateful to be on the product. But folks, 10 years from now we'll be talking and it will be difficult for you to move on to the next level. So there's a big difference. In fact, I love the quote that Robert Kiyosaki states, is that the rich people in the world today look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for job, just over broke. It's very ironic when you see that. It stares at us in the face. But still, that's all we hear. Our governments, that's all they talk about. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Maybe 100 years ago, that was the way. We've evolved, and you need to evolve with the trends. And this industry is growing, absolutely growing.
Making a difference for others. That's the type of business that we are in with network marketing. It's about working with and helping other people within your organization, see the bigger picture, to build networks, making a difference for them and their families, helping them achieve their goals. That's all in the attitude process. They don't work for you, the people below you. Our job as leaders is to help people succeed. So you got to get your nails dirty. You got to dig in and support and help the people, and to develop the skills and to get to the next level.
You know what's really interesting, especially when you talk to the new people. What I mean by that is people that are new in the industry of network marketing, or the people who have absolutely no clue about our industry, and man, they just certainly have their opinions. And they talk about, well, the people at the top, they make all the money, and they make all the money out of the people below them. And folks, Tammy and I have been in this business for a long time now. I think 20 years full time is considered long enough to say a long time. It's 2 decades at least. And we have worked on ourselves, and we have dedicated literally a significant part of our lives in creating environments for the teams, to help the team members. You tell me another industry that actually encourages people to do that. Think about it. So when someone comes to me, and I'm sharing this with you so you can maybe add this to your collection of things to say when you deal with objections, as you deal with folks that may not be as educated as you are, because you're listening to these kind of trainings about the industry, right? This is if someone feels that way, if you're not in a position to be comfortable enough to share what I'm telling you, use third-party credibility with people who have experience, that are living the quality of life that we're talking about, to help you share the opportunity and the bigger picture. Because the reality is, this is the kind of business that really cares for others. And the people that are the most successful people that I've met in this industry are people who are dedicated to help others. Now, there's another point that's very important in line with this particular topic, is do not compromise righteousness. I know Tammy will add to this. The fact is, integrity is doing the right thing, especially when no one's watching. It is amazing how often Tammy and I see things, and sometimes we just sit back and just understand that some of these folks, they need to grow, they need to learn, and some never do. But folks, if you want to grow in let me rephrase that. If you want people to respect you, especially for the long term, I'm not talking the short term, I'm talking the long term, because time will promote you or expose you. This is a constant, will never fail. Time will always eventually expose you if you do the wrong things. So you've got to do things with integrity. For example, we go to a meeting and someone comes to you, is brand new, they don't know really what's going on, and you know that you could easily persuade them to go your way so you can sign them up into your business. Is this the right thing to do? I know your heart will tell you it isn't. And I'm telling you, if you stay within your integrity, it's very interesting how life tends to bring good things. I believe in karma. I believe in, if you do good things and good deeds for others, in return, it will come back to you. So do not compromise righteousness. It is not worth it. It will always catch up with you. So integrity, that's all we have in our life.
So teamwork and respect. And again, that's all about integrity as well. So when you're working together, no matter what. See, we're creating a culture in Max with a one Max family mindset. And we do this everywhere. Chris and I travel around the world. We always start with the attitude training, because it's critical. And, a lot of people, they have this fear of loss and, fear of hitting the timing. So they do things out of integrity, and it hurts them. So it's critical that we come in with a mindset of one dream, one vision, one team, one mission. Everybody is going to win. Just serve, help people, upline, downline, crossline, sideline. Just treat people as if just like you want to be treated, as my mother always taught me, and there's plenty. Understand that there's plenty for everyone. Just serve, and great things will happen to you in this business.
When you talk about teamwork and respect, upline, downline, crossline, sideline, I want to share something here with you. Often, people work very, very hard to invite a prospect. And you don't know what they had to go through to get this person to that meeting. And you, for example, happen to be sitting beside that prospect, and you just happen to know them. They're part of the same culture maybe that you're from. So next thing you know, because of the relationship you have with that person in the past, you didn't do the work to get them there, but you know them, and you know them for years. Right away, often what I see happening is people will take ownership of that. Just because of a relationship, and not that I'm saying the relationship doesn't matter. The point is integrity. Because you know this person, or you're within the same culture of that person, and right away you start kind of saying things and doing things to kind of lure this prospect towards your team because of that, often it will create an uncomfortable situation for the prospect, and often it may actually create a problem, right? So this is what I mean by do not compromise righteousness. Respect the upline, the downline, the cross lines, and the sidelines. This is absolutely critical because we are one team, folks. One team that has one dream, that believes in one vision, that has a team around the world that today has a mission. This is why it is so important to have the right attitude and teamwork respect. So one of the other aspects here that's very important on the attitude is your attitude is your key to success. We all face challenges, folks. We all do. And how we handle those is the key. And often, when we come across a challenge, do we adjust to the challenge or do we react to the challenge? So the problem is, and Tammy and I have witnessed this over and over with associates all over the world, folks, where changes occurs, problem happens, delays happens, and some people get upset and angry, and they will project that attitude towards their downline, which now their downline are feeling the same way. And then suddenly everything gets resolved, but unfortunately, the feeling has continued going down and has created a cancer that will unfortunately undermine the organization and slow momentum way down. So the fact here is when you come across challenges, it doesn't matter what they are, there's always an opportunity to learn from them or to adjust with the challenge to be able to look at, okay, how should we handle this right now? And often, folks, it's interesting, but a challenge could turn into an opportunity for improvement or evolve from a way about how we went about doing whatever it is that you were doing. I hope I make sense here. So the message here is don't react to change or a challenge, but adjust to it. And remember that the people in your organization, upline, downline, sidelines, even the company, they look at you and they will measure your leadership and the respect they have for you based on the way that you adjust or react to these challenges.
Another part of attitude is learning, right? Is to reevaluate constantly your business. This is something that you're going to be doing. Reading, listening to audios, watching videos, constantly working on yourself and growing so that you can become a bigger leader, so that you can get to that next level. Another one that's very important in the learning process and that I find often in mentoring and just connecting with people as we travel, what's really important is what you do with the time that you're committing to your max business. And you want to make sure that you're not wasting time as you're doing this business. And you want to spend your time doing the right activities is critical. So, for example, if you're putting 5 hours a week into this business, in those 5 hours, you should be doing the main thing, which is prospecting, inviting, following up, and using a third-party validation to help you answer questions to introduce people to the opportunity. And this is something that you should be doing over and over and over, where many people get caught up in other things and they wonder why things are not working for them. So, and again, that's all in the attitude too, how you're structuring your business.
There's a quadrant here that's important to understand is if you want to be successful in your business, you want to spend your time in the blue quadrant, the blue section. Focus on long-term strategies and goals. Important, but not urgent. And we live in a society today that it's important and urgent. No wonder people are stressed up to their wits and they're always dealing with crisis and short-term crisis and problems. And yes, it's part of the process. But folks, if you organize yourself, educate yourself, adjust over opposed to react and all of this, you're going to live in quadrant number 2 instead of quadrant number 1, right? And number 3 and 4, you really don't want to spend a lot of time there. The distractions, the interruptions, it's not urgent but important, right? So you get the phone call, but you're in the middle of a prospect. Should you look at your phone call and answering this in front of your prospect? No. It could be important. Let me rephrase that. It could be urgent, but it's not important right now. It's urgent for them, but it's not important when you look at the big picture, right? So my recommendation is put your phone in your bag or in your jacket, and focus on your prospect, right? And very often, people focus a lot of time and energy on what's not important, what's not urgent. And that's, again, a big problem in building your business. You want to live into it's important, but not urgent. Because if you don't do what's important, eventually it becomes urgent, and now you're dealing in a crisis and a panic. So the important point here when it comes, as we finish this training here, is the right attitude towards guidance, right? And seek guidance from mentorship, a sponsor. And when I say a mentorship, it doesn't mean that you need a dedicated call every week to be mentored. But there's a lot of people who know what they're doing here. And, you could have people that you focus on when it comes to maybe motivating, or you need to be inspired, or you need some leadership ideas, maybe some trainings, right? Or someone who's successful. But the fact is, a mentor tends to, it's kind of someone that can give you a sense of direction to get you there. And consult with the people. Don't be afraid to call and just assume that they're busy, right? Email, text, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, right? Connect with someone who has experience, especially successful experience in an area that you're looking for, and ask questions, or attend their calls, attend their events, attend their trainings, show up to their webinars, whatever it is. Okay, so seek guidance from someone that can help you get to your destination.
So what's important is you're working with your sponsor. If your sponsor's active building the business. If not, you go up in the organization to get some support. And you don't have to be a crown diamond to mentor people. Mm-hmm. For example, if you're an associate that's a bronze associate, when you bring people into the business, you can certainly mentor them to go bronze, right? Because you've already done it. And, as you get to the next level, you're mentoring people to get to silver. You're mentoring people to get to bigger levels. So everybody should be mentoring people at a level as they grow in the business. If you're brand new, obviously, you're new. So you're going to be leveraging and learning. So the key is to take action. And the acronym ACT, write it down. A stands for action. C stands for changes. And T stands for things. Action changes things. If you want to grow in this business, you have to be taking actions on a regular basis. The most important thing is consistency. It's key. So make a decision how many hours you're going to work in your week. And then in those hours, do the money-making activities so that you can increase your business. And when you bring people into business, you want to teach them to do the same thing.
Yes, this is critical.
Duplicate action.
Folks, in our culture in Canada, we're a market that is very skeptical. And skepticism often gets deviated by education, knowledge, facts, and taking action, right? Talk is okay, but taking action is absolutely critical. So the fact here is it's important to learn, but go out there and go make mistakes. Go talk to people. Some people will be amazed what you have to share, and some may not be so amazed. That's totally okay. But you got to go out there and you got to talk to people. Very important.
The saying in our industry is to you listen to what they say, but you watch what they do.
Yeah, that's another statement.
You want to become a leader, you need to take action. And if you want to get to any level, you need action. And, when you're working within your organization, make sure you focus on that with your team. You know, anybody can talk about what they're going to do, but watch and support your action drivers, because that's what's going to get them to the next level, which is going to get you to the next level. Spend your time with the doers.
Now, gratitude. This is something that is very important. You know, over the years, it's amazing how few people show gratitude. And this is something, folks, that we really, really need to go back to. This is our basics. Gratitude. Be grateful, first of all, that you woke up this morning. Be grateful that you had a wonderful breakfast, if you're having breakfast, which we do recommend. Be grateful for this incredible opportunity that are changing lives all over the world. Be grateful for these wonderful products that are literally really helping people dealing with some major inflammation out there with everything that we consume. Being grateful, and we touched that earlier by choosing your days and how you feel during the day. And if you start feeling grateful, this could be something that you can practice as of tomorrow morning, maybe tonight before you go to bed. Be grateful. Be grateful for something, and teach yourself in being grateful. And over time, it will become a habit, and then it will become who you are. And I assure you that people that are grateful attract people, and they attract great things in their lives. So be grateful.
And saying that, we are grateful that every one of you took the time to be on the call this evening. We know that in our market here, right now we're in Toronto, the weather was bad. And, you know, sometimes things like this could prevent people from being on the call. So we're really, really happy that you took the time to be on this call this evening. Thank you so much.
And I'm grateful that this weekend had no weather like we're having today that permitted everybody to attend, because we had a wonderful attendance. So folks, listen, have yourself a wonderful evening, and we're looking forward to our next training. Bye for now.